Hello and welcome back to Scale JDM Reviews. Now today we've got something different. What I'm going to be doing is a rebuild video. I'm going to be doing this in a series of videos to show you the different stages that this kit will go through. Now basically I bought this model off Japan Yahoo Auctions. It's completely unpainted. The guy who built it in Japan, he built it as is, and he's not done a too bad a job, to be honest. It's not exactly what I call a glue bomb. It is looking pretty respectable. However, it does need some paint to really make it pop a little bit. So what we're going to do, we're going to be disassembling this kit, and step by step, piece by piece, we'll get it painted up, change the wheels maybe, sort the suspension out a little bit, do something about that body kit, and see how it turns out in the long run. Now, for those of you who are keen-eyed modelers and are really into your JDM stuff, you'll realise that this is a K-Break Majesta, Toyota Majesta. It's the early version of the kit that they made before the retooling. The later versions came with the 19-inch Koenig wheels, which are a lot bigger than these. These are very nice wheels though. But this is the first version of the kit. This is the early version. Everything else is exactly the same apart from those wheels. So what we're going to do, we're going to lift that up, we're going to remove that out of the way, put it somewhere safe, and we're going to start pulling this kit apart. So the first thing I'm going to do, I already have removed the body kit, and just for demonstration purposes, so you can see what the car looked like, I've stuck it back on with blue tag. So this makes it a lot easier for me to pull off, just like this. And voila. Side skirts. What side skirts? Rear bumper. Like that. Other side skirt, and last but not least, that crazy rear bumper. And there we have it. We have just a standard Majesta with some nice 18-19 inch alloy wheels on it. A totally gangster dual exhaust. He has glue bomb nose backlights a little bit, hasn't he? So normally you could just paint the car like that and leave as is. It would look actually a very, very nice car. But we're not going to do that. We're going to start taking this thing apart bit by bit. So let's take it, shall we? Let's start. So the first thing we're going to do is going to move all this out of the way, just like that. You can see the blue tack on the parts that I've taken off. Just going to go around the kit like this. Just going to gently prise those wheels off like that. There we go, the polycaps are staying onto the brake parts there, so we'll get rid of those in a short moment. Just gently use these and prise them off like that. There we go, it didn't take much effort at all. So you can see that the chassis is quite nicely detailed. Once that's painted up and shaded, it will look pretty good. We've got the extended spindles on there as well by the look of it from the kit, which means we can put some we might have to cut those down if we put some really deep dish wheels on there, otherwise they'll stick out a little bit too far. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just gently get a screwdriver, and I'm just going to get this screwdriver here, and I'm going to just gently prise the exhaust away any way I can. Just a little bit of leverage needed. No, that doesn't want to go. That's going to need some other form of persuasion. Yeah, that's going to snap as well. So what I think he's done, I think he's used quite a lot of glue when building this. So we're going to remove the body shell. Like that. There we go. Let's get that out. He's got the decals in there at least for the for those bits. I can't imagine the surprise of the guy that built this if he saw it on this channel. That would be quite funny, to be honest. He has done some serious gluing work on the windows. We may not be able to separate them without doing some damage, but I will try my best. It's almost painful listening to the glue just creaking as you pull it apart. I've got a feeling this is going to snap, and there is a split there, so we don't want to go too crazy with it. Our options are becoming very limited with this kit. So after a little bit of turning and throwing, I had to get the wing mirrors off just there, and I have managed to separate without damaging the glass, which is going to need a little bit of a clean up. It's been standing for a little while, it's slightly yellowed, but that will get cleaned up and we'll get as much of the glue off as we can before it's put back together. We have the body shell here, which is going to need a lot of sanding, and those backlights are going to have to come out. Yet another challenge. We'll try and get, this probably isn't the best way to do it, but I find that a nice heavy blade is always good for just tempting the pieces off, just like that. There we go, there's the front grille. The lights, however, are a slightly different issue, and I don't really want to use a blade for this. So we may not have much of a choice with those lights. I will try my best to get them out. I may need to cut them out with a better blade. Just trying to get my blade in between there so it is a little bit thinner. The problem is he's used CA glue, which is normal polystyrene cement, and you can't really use that on glass pieces because it crazes the glass, and it gives it this foggy effect like you see here, so it really destroys the inside of the glass. And wherever possible you should use like either white glue or I actually use Bob Smith Industries Super Gold. I find that on windows that works fantastically. It is a little bit runny because I've got the Super Gold Plus. However, it's got to hold it in place for a little while and it will stick eventually. But it does its job really, really well. So a bit of a suasion, we've managed to get that much off. So we have managed to save the backlight as much intact as we can. That's going to need a hell of a clean up. But you can see there's a massive glue globule just there. So let's get that out of the way, and let's start on the fronts. Now technically we could just try and pop these out, but that's not going to work in this case. So unfortunately I wasn't able to get the side headlight out without smashing it into a million pieces, so that's unfortunately a testament to the glue that was used. It will get cleaned up and I will just have to find another UZS141 Majesta kit somewhere cheap so I can nick the front lenses out of it. Let's try the other side, shall we? Okay, so this one's decided to destroy itself as well, so I'm just going to basically pull it off, and I will need to find a set of replacement lenses for it when we do the rebuild. Okay, and there we have it. Body is completely stripped. We have had a bit of an accident with the front lights. Even the inside's like a bit of a mess, but that will all be tidied up when we do the rebuild. Backlights are gone as well. Everything is here that we will be reusing. I'm not too sure if I'm going to use the body kit. I did quite like the standard look of the body, but with a very low stance, which would look quite nice. So let's move these wheels out the way, and let's start on the interior. So this should just gently prise it apart. They should come away like that. There we go. See, it's all coming apart quite nicely here. Now I've got to be very careful, or not, with that. That'll come off quite quickly. And the seats, and the other seat, and lastly but not least, we can probably just try and separate the hobart. There it goes. Now with the suspension, I do quite like the ride height. I think with bigger wheels we might need to lower it a little bit, so we'll keep it as is, but I will take the steering mounts off, so we'll get rid of those just like that. Lift it slightly out of the way. Oop. There we go. There's one of the front suspension struts and steering columns. There we go. So technically we could just get all this off as well, start from scratch. I don't want to push it too much because of how much glue's been used, and there is a fair amount of glue on there, so I might not be able to do too much with that. However, these suspension struts are not too bad shape. We can adjust them, we can put extenders in the top and the bottom to increase the height and stuff, so we may have to do that. The back seems okay. It's got a tiny little bit of camber on there, that's okay. The exhaust is fine. When I paint that, I'll be able to paint that separately. I am still going to try and get it off, but there is a massive amount of glue there, and that bit at the back is basically welded on. So there we go. So let's get this all in order, shall we, so we can see what we're playing with. So there we go. The kit's fully disassembled as much as I'm willing to go with without breaking anything. The bits that we can't pull apart, I'm going to paint and detail on the kit as is. Instead of using an airbrush, I'll use a paintbrush. It's quite simple. First thing I'm going to do is de-glue most of the kit, clean it up as best as I can, and then we'll start on painting. So I will see you all in the next video.